back, everybody. Today we have a Stihl Farm Boss MS290, and the man said he just bought it. He knows nothing about it, don't even know if it runs. So let's check it out, see what we got. Come with a bar guard and an old file with a homemade handle, looks like. So let's check the fuel, see if there's any in it. Yeah, there's some in it. Don't smell too bad. We have a flashlight. Doesn't smell real fuel-y, but it doesn't smell rotten either. I think I will dump it out though. Put a shot of fresh fuel in there. We'll see what happens. Filter looks plugged up. Yeah, let's blow that off. So the MS290 saw, that's a 57cc saw. So that's a pretty good size saw. Especially if we're just cutting firewood and stuff like that, and maybe some small trees. Now these Stihl chainsaws, basically you just take your screwdriver and you put it in between those two tabs and you just turn it. Then it falls on the ground. Yeah, I can't see through that at all. It ties into that piece right there, and this piece will snap into it. It's just a breather. The breather hose starts here, or the vent hose, I mean, from the tank. I don't know why they just couldn't let it sit there with a little mini one-way vent for that. Let it sit right there, but they brought it in here, I guess, to maybe recirculate any vapors back through, kind of like an emissions things, I guess. That'd be the only reason why I think they did that. All right, we got fuel in it. Let's see if it'll pop off and run. That was actually surprising. think it's got limiters on it. But he had a guy just acquired this saw. He said he got it pretty cheap and didn't know anything about it. And I wanted me to go through it to see if it would run and get him go through it, just make sure it's reliable and everything for him. So that's what we're going to do. All right, we're in the shop now, and let's see if we can get this bar off of here. And start working on breaking it down, getting it cleaned up some. Oh, day. Don't need on that tight. So this saw seems to be fairly old school. Well, maybe not as much as I think. I think it will adjust from the side and not from the front. So that's kind of nice. Let's see if there's a date on here anywhere. Let's see. Boy, that thing's caked up bad. Try to keep your saws clean, guys. All that stuff builds up. And when it builds up, it cakes up around everything. See all that? That's real thick stuff there. And all that does is hold heat. And that heat is not good for the motor. Or your seals, O-rings, gaskets. It puts a hurting on all of it. The cooler you can keep your saw, the more efficient it'll run. And keeping it clean is one way to keep it cooler. Opening up the exhaust, that's another way to keep it cooler. Making it easy for air to come in through the intake. That can help make things more efficient. The first got to do all kinds of tricks, flips, and turns just to get into the carburetor and then back out the exhaust. So it's not very efficient. If it's more of a straight shot in and a straight shot out, the straighter that can be, the better off you are. See what the cylinder looks like. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in pretty good condition, just by the way it does run. It didn't take much to get it, want to get it to start, so it's got good compression. First time I've seen washers on one like that. Now, let's see if I can bring you around here to take a look at this. So this saw is a 57cc saw, but it has that little tiny hole there to have to breathe out. And I got it a little loose right now, but look, I wouldn't be able to stick my pinky in it. So let's take the front cover off of that muffler and get that screen out of the way. Let's see what size the hole is on the cam. Oh, that's sweet. Look at that. Two little tiny slivers. This one's actually larger than that one. But that's it. That's all it has to breathe out of. That's crazy. So I did ask the man if he wanted me to do anything to it to make it run better. And he said, "What do you mean?" So I showed him the muffler. It's just got that little hole to breathe out of. I said we can do something with that, and that will make it run a little more efficient. He says, "Man, I'm going to leave it up to you." But he trusts me. He's been bringing this stuff to me for years, so he knows what I can do. Yeah. This muffler's got some weight to it, so there's some baffling and stuff in there, I'm sure. Oh yeah. And it's choked up pretty good. There's no reason in the world why a saw that's almost 60 cc's has to try and breathe through. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's a dead end for one. So you have 9 little tiny drilled holes in the bottom there. You can probably see that a little bit. And then the same thing on the top, if you can see that. And that's it. That's all it gets to breathe through. So it's like a straw in a marathon. It's crazy. So I will at least do that much for him. We will open this thing up. And I would like to do a before and after. I know sometimes I don't do that. I forget to do it. And what I think I will do, and there's a perfect spot here for it, is I think we'll come in from the side here and bore a hole right there with my multi-bit, and we'll pipe it for him. And I'm pretty sure that's going to, and I'm going to open it up and come along here and grind this seam until I see that shadow, which means I'm getting ready to break through. And we're going to open this up. And the nice thing I think about this here, oh yeah, you hear that? That's nice. That must have been before Stihl decided they were going to weld all their guts in, which is crazy. You don't need to weld your guts in. Leave your guts float like everybody else does. So I should be able to open that up, and those guts will fall right out of there. Now, I might have to modify them a little bit or something, just so I can have my tubes. There's tubes that run straight through there, and they're probably part of the baffle. And if they are, I'll have to do some modifications to it to get rid of most of the baffle, but keep my tubing in there, so that way I don't crush the cam when I go to tighten stuff up. I think you got yourself a real good deal here. There ain't no dates on that either. It's probably 90s or something. I don't know. Pull that spark plug too, and we'll take a look at it. That will tell you how things are running. Well, that sucks. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That this part, of that throttle linkage. Just clips into a little slot at the top of the throttle there. Just pops right into that slot. Not sure why that's on there, but we'll go ahead and take these limiters out too. They might be a little bit of a pain to get those out, but I think I know how to. If not, we'll go to YouTube. But there's a little, they're trying to make it harder for people to do anything with these. So after they put the plastic limiters in there, they pressed in a piece of metal that goes all around that. So as you can see, that plastic's encased. It's not machined that way, I don't believe. I'm pretty sure it's just a piece of metal they pressed in there afterwards. So part of cleaning your saw is these holes on the top of the housing here. Most of them only have one. This one happens to have two. You want to make sure they're clear also, because as this fuel pump in here works back and forth off of here, the pulse line needs to be able to exchange air back and forth, atmospheric air back and forth, so the pump will actually move. All right. While we're here, well, this side of the piston looks pretty good too. Crank and connecting rod, the best I could see, looks good, and there's no rust all over it or anything, so must have had a good fill of oil. Let's see if we can set you up a little different here. That looks all right. We're going to take the cover off the diaphragm side here. Take a look, see what kind of condition that's in. I think the guy said he paid $100 for it. And in my opinion, oh yeah, that's in good shape. Any saw that runs is at least worth $100. So yeah, we're good there. I'll pull this back. So I don't think we need to, definitely don't need to overhaul it. There's not a lot of debris on top. Debating if I want to peel that back or not. I don't think I will. Let's see. Let me take this side off first. So this side looks really clean. The inlet screen is very clean. So I'm not going to worry about popping this side, actually peeling that back and looking inside of there, make sure everything's okay, because everything is like super clean. So I very seriously doubt that there's anything wrong with this carb. I think all we need to do is get those limiter caps off and just get it tuned. And I think that will take care of our bogging issues. And then we'll open up that exhaust a bit. And I think that saw will be a very nice saw. But I'm not going to open that muffler until I get this back together and running and tuned. And then I'm going to put it in the wood. And then we're going to take some times. And then we'll see what the times are afterwards, after the muffler mod. And it should get a little quicker. The RPMs on it, if it's choked up enough, the RPMs will come up. You don't even have to do any port work to get the RPMs to come up sometimes. Sometimes the RPMs will come up just by doing a muffler mod because it's restricted so badly. All right. Everything looks good on that side. Now we need to try to get these limiters out of here. And I think if you take and line it up a certain way, I think it'll pop right out of there. And I got a special screw just for that. That's pretty much all I'll use it for. Keep it close by. I think right there is where it would have to be to come out. So we'll get this thing threaded in there first. Doesn't take much, just a couple turns. Screw that little bugger in there like that, a couple threads. Back it up a little bit, and you should see part of that piece come around and line up with that gap, and there it is. So you see that little notch right there? There's a little notch right there. You want to take and look down through that notch, and you'll see this little piece right there. That little piece right there, you'll see it line up with that hole, and once it lines up with the hole pull, it pops right out of there. Now, if you really wanted to had to have these in your carburetor for whatever reason, you can always just grind that little tab off right there and then put it back in. You would have full rotation of everything. But you really don't need them. Well, here comes the rain again, as if we need more. But take what I can get. I might not get none later. I know one thing, it's just getting pretty flooded around here. I'm going to take that back out because I didn't take a look of where the... Oh, there it is. Yeah, this one's different. It's right in the middle. Right there. That one's a bugger.
Yeah, get a saw blade thing out here. Your cover.
Okay.
It's getting wet. It's got rain.
Yep. It's plastic. It'll be okay.
Uh-oh.
You're getting wet. You better run. You better run. I think it's right there, I think. Yep, that was it. Pulled it right up. Let me close my door. Man, those are big raindrops. They're almost rain chunks. Alright, so now we should have full operation of the adjustment screws on this carb. So that'll help us get things tuned in a little bit better. Let me see. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to run it today, but we can get it back together today, and we'll get it cleaned up and blown down pretty good. So, well, we might not even be able to do that. I'm not going out there to blow it down in the rain. It's not bath time yet. That's in another 30 days. All right, let's try that. So there's this little plastic ring that popped into the top of here. And that basically held that little piece of sponge or whatever that is in place. That's pretty much all it is some sort of either sponge or cotton wad of some sort, or there's an O-ring on here also, right there. Let's see if we can get this blown out. I'm not sure if this comes apart in any kind of way. It might, because there's a flat spot on it. And that might be either reference or a place to pop it open. And it appears to be a place to pop it open. So it does come apart. And there's some more plastic pieces in it. So on one side of it you have that. The other side of it you have that. And this is the side that has all the little holes in it. And I'm not sure if that's meant to come apart. I think that's actually like glued or something. There's a little piece of like cellophane or whatever you might want to call it. And that allows it to fluctuate back and forth, it seems like. And I think that's glued around this perimeter here. There's a hole in the middle of it. We'll snap these two pieces back together. Drop this piece back in. And we'll use this plastic washer like they did to hold everything together. Yep. So like I said, that's how this works. As the fuel's being burned off, air comes in and exchanges the fuel with the air as the tank goes empty. Otherwise, you'd end up with a vacuum and the saw would end up stalling. All fuel tanks are vented just for that reason. So if you have a saw that might, or anything that might run for a few minutes and then shut down, you can't find anything wrong with it. If it's something like a mower, take the gas cap off and leave it off, or just crack it. You don't have to take it off, just crack it. And then fire it up, and if it don't stall no more, then you know you have your vent is plugged up on your gas cap, and you're drawing a vacuum. So I've had that happen in the past. You just end up taking some compressed air and cleaning that up. So this piece just snaps into this hose here. And there you go. Make sure your hoses are set properly. Your fuel hose slides into this plastic piece here. It just kind of sits there for you, so that way you're not trying to fumble with it. It's holding it for you. And then you slide the carburetor on, and as you slide the carburetor on, it'll line up with your pulse line hose, because it's held into place, and your fuel line hose, it's all held in place for you. All you have to do then is just push it into place. That's kind of nice. I don't have to try to fumble with that mess. Yep, that's good. Yep. Grab our throttle linkage. Put it back on. Come on now. Pop on there. There we go. Make sure you got full function of it. If you don't, it doesn't seem like it's opening all the way, but the trigger is pulled all the way. What you can do is see if I get you zoomed in here to see better. Is you got this little Z bend right here, and you can kind of, grab it here and grab it there and kind of pull that a little bit. Not the best way I can explain it, but basically you're just trying to stretch that out a little bit between these two bends. You'll give you a little more stroke, and you'll be able to, when you pull the trigger all the way, the throttle valve will open all the way. Alright, so while we're right here, let's check the spark plug out. They can blow in there a little bit. Boy, this gap is tight. It's an 18. Should be at least 25, but I always set stuff for 30, so that's what I'm going to do here. There we go. 30. One more look at things at top. I don't think we're going to pull the top on this. I think we're just going to do a muffler mod. And I think we'll see a pretty good difference. I think we'll see a pretty good difference. Alright. Yep, still moves if it needs to. So for right now, we are going to stuff this thing with some paper towel, exhaust port, and we're going to blow that out, blow that cylinder out all around that. Just like that, that's all you gotta do. And we can blow out all we want to. And when you pull that piece of paper out, any debris that might be in that area will come right out with that piece of paper and not fall in. Make sure your gasket's still in place. After gutting this thing out, we'll take and bore a hole here with my unibit, probably on a slight angle a little bit, possibly tilt it up. I'll find that out exactly what I need to do after I get the exhaust on and everything together. Is the bar, the side cover. I need everything into place when I go to do this, so I know exactly where I need to put it. Because it wouldn't be too good if I had made that cut and it wasn't quite in the right spot. Even if you didn't take and do a muffler mod and pipe the side of it, at a minimum, I would at least try to open this hole up. And you could probably do that with take this off completely, That way you can take a die grinder and cut up that seam and cut up across that seam and then cut down that one and break that piece off of there. So that way when the exhaust comes out, it comes out, hits here and just turns out, but it doesn't have to make another turn. And that hole would be quite a bit larger. It'll be able to breathe quite a bit better. But we'll go ahead and pipe it here, and we'll still have that one there, so it'd be a dual port. Let's see if we can fire this thing up and see if we can't get it tuned real good. And then if it's not raining, maybe we'll go out there and we'll do some cutting. After I clean the filter. So let's see what happens. Alright, so we know we got the idle circuit tuned pretty good. No more bogging when you hit the throttle. And top end sounds okay, but you really can't go by that on a bench run. You've actually got to get it in the wood for your high side. So, alright, that's it for tonight. Hope you like the content. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, send me some comments. Be kind and help people when you can.